going on, fellas?
We were chilling,
Where did we first meet out?
Because I used to be the first round. So maybe at Malky's office, or you did yoga at the spot right there by FIU. I forget what it's called. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you did yoga or you used to get food there.
Both.
The yoga pose.
Yoga and food.
Yeah.
Miami boy, let's
good
go.
to see y'all, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
It's a blessing to be
Chris,
on
you
here.
might be in trouble, man. You got 3 South Florida boys here, man. You in trouble.
Hey,
You
listen.
South Florida too?
Yeah, I'm South
From
Florida.
where?
I'm a little north of South Florida, though.
Okay. I'm way down south. So I grew up in Florida City, Homestead.
Stop trying to
Okay.
be gangster
Way
like
down
these guys.
Nah,
These are
man,
real gangsters.
Yeah,
over
those
there.
are real gangsters, man.
E-Rhyme, all over there?
No, all the way down. So like, P Round
Down.
all the way down. So like right before you get to the Keys, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, way down there.
You grew up playing football?
For the most part, yeah. I started when I was 6, and I started wrestling when I was like 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
That single leg looked good. I was like, yeah, he's definitely
My coaches got on me, man, because they was like, don't try to pick this big boy up, man. But if I would have dropped him on the cage, that would have been crazy. So I tried to, bang, bang. I was like, all right, okay, let me get the single and make it easy.
My
Where
favorite
did
thing
you
about
start
that.
wrestling?
Go ahead.
Right before middle school, so there was a program at the PAL that I went to, and then in middle school I really got into it. So probably like 10,
Okay.
9 years old.
The most impressive thing for me, looking at you in this fight, is that, I mean, there had to be tons of pressure. You won the fight 11 days before that. All of a sudden, you're on the main card. I talked to Henry Hoof. He was telling me you're the first fight. He thought you were the first fight on the prelims. And I don't know if they moved you late because he was like, oh, it's going to be an early night. And but your composure, like with all that pressure and everything, it's not like you obviously a very explosive, strong guy, could knock anybody out. But you were calm on your feet, really set up the takedown well, ran the pipe beautifully, got on top and did your thing. But what was the nerves like for this, coming into this? You know, everyone talks about the UFC jitters the first time. Did you feel that much, or?
I think a lot of things come into play. One, I've been around a lot of high-level guys. I was telling somebody in the back, man, I sparred RDR probably 10, 15, 20 rounds. RoboCop, 10, 15, 20 rounds. I went to the PI and I got to roll down with Roman. He leg locked me like 5 times.
Yeah.
So that gave me a little bit.
You went with everybody on that card.
I went with Strickland when I was there. So just being with high-level guys, and I study a lot. So I knew my opponent better than he knew himself. I thought he was going to throw the calf kick a little bit more to slow me down. But I knew he was a counter puncher. I knew my game plan going in. I knew I probably would want to wrestle him. And more than anything, I believe in God. So I know that moment wasn't bigger than God. I know at the end of the day, man, I'm still secure whether I win or lose. And if he brought me into that moment, he's going to take me out too. So, man, I try to enjoy it as much as possible, take it in, because you don't even get your debut so many times. So, man, I'm glad we got it done and we get to move on.
Does all that studying come from maybe football, like studying in football and just?
For the most part, it comes from football, but also the way God designed me. That's just the way he ordered my steps, man. I didn't grow up with my dad, didn't grow up with my mom. So the one thing I remember being young, my mom was always like, make sure you listen to authority. So I grew up like almost militant in the sense that like when somebody told me something, I was always keen to making sure that I did the right way. So like looking people in the eyes, yes sir, no sir. And like when I go around people like, oh, were you in the military? It's like, nah, like that's just the way I grew up. And then from football, I'm not saying it's bigger than fighting, but it's on a whole nother level when it comes to preparation. Like we have a day dedicated just to third down, just to first and second down, just to blitz it. So coming from that background, man, I said this in the podcast too, man, having to dissect a man when I played middle linebacker. I didn't just play football. I had to go from getting the call, lining up my teammates, and then looking at somebody on the other side of the ball and seeing what they're going to run. And then if they motion, we got to turn into something else. So I get, 5, 6 fights of Terrence Chapman in this case to dissect him, and then he's not going to change too much. It's just figuring out what kind of fight he wants to fight, and then me adjusting to that.
So you wrestled though through high school?
Yes, sir.
And then you played football, obviously in the NFL and through college. What helped you? What do you think you go back to in your mind to make fighting not that big of a deal and just kind of, make it a normal thing to make it less stressful going out there? Is it the football? Is it the wrestling? Is it a combination? I know you spoke about God already, but as far as sports and your previous, things that you've gone through with those sports.
I think with wrestling, just competing on a high level, I actually like wrestling a lot more than I like football, pretty much my whole life. Really? I kid you not, man. Because there's no ego in wrestling. Everybody does the same thing. We do the same training from the lightweights to the heavyweights. And I had a really good coach. His name was Aaron Harris, man. He taught me a lot, man. He poured a lot into me. Not saying I didn't like football, but there's a lot that goes into football, a lot of politics. What I like about fighting, man, you get in there, it doesn't matter what you ranked, who says who's going to be who, what the odds are. I love that. I was, 1,000 odds or something like that. I could have easily go in there and lost. Yep. That dude I thought wasn't no pushover, but I studied so much that I try to remove my pride, but I got so much pride in the fact that I don't want to lose and be an embarrassment to the people who brought me up and believe in me, and I'm not going to let him beat me. And I do that by preparation, but also going there with a humble heart, knowing that if me breaking him down, he's a counterpuncher. He got a big left hook. He loves his overhand right hand and the calf kick. So he almost had the perfect game plan to beat me. He was just going to wait for me to come in, and that's why you saw us fading each other, kind of waiting. I'm usually a lot more aggressive, but I was like, if I go in there trying to run, I'm going to eat something, and that's why I got a couple of stitches right here. I tried to jab, and I had my hand all the way up. So once he touched me, it's not that I didn't want to scrap, but I was like, what's the easiest route to victory? 100%. Take him down, submit him, figure out how to get out of Kimura, and then we'll be good.
That was a little crazy. I got a little worried, man.
He would have had to break my arm. I'm not going to lie to you. And I knew he didn't know what he was doing, so I was like, okay, we take a couple seconds, regroup ourselves, and then once I got on top, that's my favorite choke, the head and arm, and Herbert Burns is the one who taught me. He said, you don't have to squeeze it right away. Slow squeeze, and then eventually they're going to go to sleep, and I don't know if I can say this on air. I heard, I don't know who the ref was. He tapped me. I said, let me give it a couple more seconds. See if he goes to sleep.
That's deep waters. You can do what you want.
So, and it's crazy because when I first started fighting, I didn't like hurting people. Like I think they said about Jalen Turner. I'm very similar to him where I don't like punching people in the face. I don't like my glove going through your face and you getting scars or whatnot. But I've gotten to the place where it's like, if we're going to be in there, we're going to lock the cage. They're going to ask both of us to be ready, and you about to kill me. They're going to do it to me. It's not going to be me. It's going to be you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the mindset I go in there with that now.
When did you make the full switch to MMA? When you were like, this is what I'm going to do. That's it.
So I was with First Round. I didn't know Malky did football. I mean, I did fighting. I remember going up his stairs and seeing a picture of John Jones. I was like, damn, you know John Jones? He's like, I manage John Jones. So football goes through, CFL, I was supposed to go there. COVID happens. There's no CFL season. Malky comes up and he's like, hey, you can be a world champion. You know how Malky is. He's trying to soften me up. And then, like I said, I'm not a dumb dude. So I'm like, you trying to get return on investment. I ain't make that much money in football. You trying to gas me up by going to my prayer calls. I'm like, okay, God, what you want to do? And he's like, whatever you want to do, I'm with you, and I go before you. So I step into, I go to MMA Masters. I'm there training, and when I start grappling those guys, Miguel Baeza was there, Kobe Covington comes later, but they have a lot of big dudes who've been doing it for a long time, and I'm dominating them. I don't know the submissions, but I know how to do it, and once I get my foot into it, that's why I really didn't want to get into it, because I'm competitive. Like if I was in here playing this game with y'all, man, I would have been amped up just like y'all, because I don't like to lose, and I don't like to quit. So fighting's a sport where once you get into it, it's one of those sports where you're the one who has to make the decision. Like, hey, I'm done. I'm hanging up the gloves, and I can't lose on. I can't end it on a loss. But to answer your question, once I started, I knew I was in it. The first time I got into my first amateur fight and I got a W, I knew I was stuck in it. And the best way I could put it, I used to be addicted to gambling for a long time. And the reason I was addicted, thank you. The reason I was addicted because I remember my teammate's dad giving me $100, and I turned that $100 into 1,000.
What'd you play?
Blackjack.
Okay.
Just not even knowing what I'm doing, but the reason I was hooked is because it seemed easy. And then once I started losing, I can't leave the casino. Even if I went in there with 100 and I turned it to 1,000 and y'all took 200 back, that's my $200. Yeah. So the same thing with fighting. I came here with a clean slate. I came here flawless. I'm not gonna let somebody take my O away, which eventually it's gonna happen to all of us if you fight long enough and me not get it back in blood. So.
Let's go, man.
Yes, sir.
Do you like
the best time to be at the heavyweight right now?
Yeah.
The heavyweight division's never been more.
It's cooking up.
I
love it. I love it, man.
Do you like the speed at which they're kind of expediting you in this process? I mean, 11 days you're on Dana White Contender Series. Now you're on the main card and then who knows? And you didn't take no damage.
Nope.
So you can, and I'm sure they're going to put you right back out there. Do you like this type of speed that they're putting you through?
Up until this point, it's how it's supposed to happen. Like I said, they gave me, and obviously you read online, you probably read the comments, man, Matthew Adams wasn't out on my level. And I knew that. I was like, they giving me this guy to do what I did to the other guys. Yeah. Get him out of there in a minute, and I did that. With Chatham, they wanted the same thing, but like I said, with his style, I would have been taking too many risks without the rewards.
Me and Chris talked about that, and we were impressed by your patience because, like, when you're an explosive athlete like you, and everybody's expecting you to just come out and bone rush them, but you were patient in it, and I like that. Me and Chris talked about that on the show, how patient you are, and with that patience, you still got a first round finish.
Yes, sir.
It was great.
Yes, sir.
Great to see that.
Like I said, I'm explosive. I'm a super athlete. I'm extremely strong. My wrestling's probably like if I had to put a grade on, like a C minus.
What the hell? Look at this dude's form.
And this is, I was on the report, what was CBS or whatever, where we were on. She was like, why are you excited about why is the heavyweight division in trouble? It's because I've been performing at 20%. I quit my job a month ago at FIU, and I was going.
What?
I train. You know Dieter too, right? Dieter Navarro.
Yeah.
So I go up to Kill Cliff. I live in Homestead. I leave my house at 4:30, get up to Kill Cliff. I run up there. I get with Dieter at 7. We work on my boxing, and then we do the 10 o'clock class. And I used to go from Kill Cliff, leave there at like 11:15, get to FIU at about 1. Luckily, I got favored there, so I went to school there. I'm getting lunch. And I go through work, and I go and lift and run after that. So really had no life, but now I got the time to not only rest in the Lord, but able to regroup and actually train the way I'm supposed to train. I've been training at half capacity, and that's why I know that the heavyweight division is in trouble, because now I get to be the full version of Anthony Wint.
Mm-hmm. So what's been the best part of this UFC experience for you?
If I'm being honest, man, being on the stage with you guys, man, it's not. I used to see it as a burden, because I'm a to myself type of person. I like being in the woods. I like going paddleboarding, being on the beach. I don't like being around too many people, because God's given me the ability to discern spirits or discern people. And everybody ain't got the best wishes for you. Everybody don't got your best interest. It's a lot of snakes in this game. But with that, me being on the stage, me being in front of these eyes, me being at the Golden One in Sacramento and performing in front of those people, I get to glorify God on the biggest stage. So. Man, that's the biggest thing, man. Being able, like even speaking now, I'm not the best person with my words, and God gives me the wisdom and the insight to be able to say the things that He wants me to say, and smooth through these conversations and glorify Him, man. So honoring my mother, honoring Florida City and my family, and being able to be the best version of myself. Because if God's giving me this light and He's giving me these abilities, why do I hide it? Being by myself. So man, being on the stage and be able to show out and shine.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So. You're a young fighter coming up. You've experienced the UFC. What are you looking to improve on your game now?
Figure out how to get out of Kimura.
You did get out of it.
I did get out, but just trying stuff, to be honest with you. But yeah, jiu-jitsu is something I need to get better at, but I'm not terrible. I've rolled with some really good guys. Like, I went over with my teammate Imba Kasanga and I, who is one of the reasons I got into fighting. He got out dealt by Johnny, who great fight, man. Amazing fight, but I was over in Texas and got rolled with Nicky Rod. So I got to do some rounds with him. I went over to, Simple Man?
Yeah.
Took the Uber over there, rode with him. Obviously, he don't know who I am, but we're wrestling, we're going, and obviously I'm giving him good work. Not saying I got the best of him, but I can grapple, but not to the point where, I'm confident in just getting out of everything. I've rode with RDR, I've rode with these guys and done well, but once I get to the point where I can get to the ground, not only dominate being on top, but be on the bottom and not be afraid to try stuff, that's when I think I'll take it to the next level. But other than that, like you talked about the patience in that fight, having the patience, but also being able to set traps. Because a lot of times I'm kind of just throwing stuff and hoping it lands. I want to be able to throw stuff, draw guys in, and be able to set traps and be able to kill guys. Because that's the end of the day, that's what guys want. I don't want to have to revert to wrestling because I want to mitigate risk. I want to be able to stay on my feet like kind of Justin Gaethje does. And like, he's a world-class wrestler. And
he's S+ on the list.
At the end of the day, every time I get in that cage, man, I'm risking my life. I'm taking years off my life. So I want a bonus every single time. Like, I was upset. Obviously, we get to 25 now, but I'm upset when I don't leave with 100K. My family deserves that 100K. My generations to come deserve that 100K. And if you get in that cage for me, you're the man standing in front of me for that.
Yeah.
I love it, man, how you talking about training, and it just shows you don't got like an ego. There's a lot of guys that'll be like, Nicky Rod's there. I'm not really trying to roll with that guy and get my ego hurt. You getting after, you going with all the guys that you need to go with, and that's only gonna propel you further, bro.
I'll tell you one of the pivotal points in my development. My first week at Deerfield, and one of the reasons I knew I could do this jump because I trained with Bysingor Surkayev, and I remember being there. And, I don't know where he's from. I see a V at the back of your name. I think you're somewhere in Russia. Yeah. But we had our coach. We used to do 30 minutes straight of wrestling, and I can wrestle, but this is my first week of training, and we're going, and we're probably 10 minutes in, 15 minutes. I'm starting to get a little tired. He sees it. He's like, "Hey, Wint, brother, if you want, you can take a little break." I look at him like, boy, who you talking to? Now, mind you, he ended up whooping my butt probably later into the rounds, but every time I see him, man, I love him, Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, you want me to take a break? And this is a year and a half ago. It burns at me because you think you can beat me. And there's nothing against him, but I'm just the ultimate competitor in the sense that if you beat me, I gotta keep going. I gotta go again. And I don't fear losing the fact that of taking my the Bible says when we're weak, God is strong. So in my weakest moment where I'm embarrassed, I'm on face down, I can't picture it. People say power in the tongue, but I know that in that moment, God's like, you're gonna get even better than that. So that's what motivates me is getting to a point of weakness and knowing that I need God to get better.
Scary, man. When a man has conviction like that, it's scary, bro.
And I can sense it too. Like I saw it that night. Like the first thing you said was you gave the glory to God, and I can see it now. I mean, so yeah, I feel like you're gonna go a long way. How far do you think you're gonna be in? Like, let's say 5 years. Like your projections for yourself in 5 years in this sport. Where do you see yourself?
Oh, 5 months, 1 year, 5 years.
5 months from now, I think I'll be taking my first ranking fight. Against who, I don't know. The division's always changing. There's guys always coming up and down. 5 years from now, and I'll put it like this, going back to that conversation with Malky and Abe, I remember them sitting me down like, Wint, you got to do this. And I remember sitting them in the eyes and looking at them like, I do not want to do this if I can't beat John Jones. Because he's, in my opinion, he's the GOAT. Like, it's not even close. His pedigree, the amount of champions he's beat, the amount of people he's beat, and obviously he's a little bit far gone for that, but that's the great thing about this heavyweight division with these guys coming up with Josh Hogan, who's kind of already there. Gable coming up. They're taking their time with him and this is not me looking ahead, but with John coaching, that's a way that I can get that chip off my shoulder of I did what I set out to do. Because he's pouring himself into Gabe. I think I got great coaches. Oddly enough, I think Gabe was because I'm with Mag, with Dave Martin, and Gabe was with them, and I was with First Round. So it's a story that writes itself, but we got to do our job. I can sit here and talk to you guys and tell you, give you this grand story, and then go out there against a cab driver who they give me next and lose.
Yeah,
so you can talk all you want.
Sure. You still got to prove it.
You got to prove it, and that's something I don't want to give Josh too many flowers, but he goes out there, he talks, he has his antics. I don't know anybody who likes it, but he goes out there and fights. Yeah, I'm the type of guy I cut on the tape, and I'm not listening to any noise. I'm not listening to commentators. I'm gonna look at your feet. I'm looking how you moving, and look how you hit people and how you fight. And he fights. So that's the type of dude I want to fight. Not out of animosity, but out of like, let's get in the cage. Let's see who's bigger. Let's see who's better.
Yeah.
Anybody right now you got in mind for your next fight?
There's a bunch of guys, man. There's a bunch of guys. I don't want to put a name out there because I have literally
no free publicity. Yeah.
But you think one more fight and then looking for a ranked opponent, or 2 more fights?
Maybe 1 or 2. Yeah. I keep saying Josh's name, but when that fight got announced for Curtis Blades, and you guys know fighting as well, I was like, that's too big of a jump. Curtis Blades is a dog. You got me and and he can wrestle a little bit. But I was like, man, if he does it, this is big, and he did it. That was my first UFC fight at Miami. Mm-hmm. They pulled me in, and that's why I knew the UFC liked me, because I didn't even know y'all did interviews. I did an interview with Fight Pass. I was like, let me get a ticket. They gave me a ticket. I'm sitting there and standing like, man, this dude really did it. But that shows with just a little bit of faith what you can do. Yeah. So it's really on me. I said this the other day, man. I could have quit my job 3 years ago, because God, when I first started fighting, God already anointed me to be in the UFC. He already anointed me to be a world champion, but God can have a plan for you. He can have this path for you. He can give you the promised land, but you got to go in there and take it. Yeah. At the end of the day, it took Caleb and Joshua, oddly enough, to go in there and say, the rest of the scouts in the Bible were talking about, dang, these guys are like giants. How can we go against them? And Caleb and Joshua said, we can take them. Easy work. We can take them. And God said, that's what we need. And then Josh will end up being the one to lead them into the promised land. So if I want to be that guy, I got to look at these giants. I got to look at Cyril Gane. I got to look at all these guys from Russia and say, okay, what's the game plan? I can see the chat right now. Josh Hogan sleep some more. There's so many guys that are bigger, badder than me. It's like, if I say to myself, dang, God, how can I beat him? He's like, nah, you're not going to win like that. You need to ask me how I can beat him and know with faith that I'm going to give you the wisdom to do it. And I trust God my whole heart to be able to do that.
I love it. Beautifully said. How about going from football, where it's like 5-second spurts, maybe 10-second spurts of energy, and then going into MMA, which is 15 minutes, 25 minutes of continuous energy moving. How have you changed your training and changed your mindset to be able to deal with that, cardio-wise? Because you're so damn explosive. Yep. So in the head, we saw it with RoboCop. We thought he was going to gas out. He's just so jacked. At some point, you think he's going to gas out. What do you do cardio-wise to make sure that's never a problem for you? I'm
a big runner. I do at least 2, 3, 4 miles every other day. And I think most of cardio is efficiency and mindset. So I got a lot more tired when I first started because I didn't know what I was doing. I got to tell my muscles what to do, and they don't know how to operate. Yeah. So now that I'm a lot more efficient, make sure I don't waste movements, make sure I'm doing things the right way. And at the end of the day, when you get tired, you saw with RoboCop, I was biting my teeth. I was like, dog, you should have knocked him on the second and third. Man, you've done that. But as the dog he is, man,
he hit the wall in the third and then came back.
Came back, man. He came back, and that's the kind of spirit I want to have. Be honest with you, in my opinion, I've only been, and I'm 8-0 as a pro. I was 3-0 as an amateur. I've only been in maybe 2 fights. Because I consider a fight a point, and I used to train with Nate the Train. And he said, don't get to think when that red light start blinking. I got red lights in front of me right now, oddly enough. He's like, when you start fighting, guys kind of kicking, you're playing, whatever, we're kind of sparring, but you see in a fight when it turns into a fight.
Yep.
I want to be in fights where when I first tried to take Terrence Chapman down, I was like, dang, this is a big boy. And I got on the ground, he had the arm bar. In my head, a little piece of me was like, dang, you about to lose this fight. It's not easy how it's supposed to be. But then another piece of me was like, nah, you can't lose this, dog. And I think that happens every single fight, maybe in different capacities for other people.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I want to be in those spaces where my flesh is telling me, yo, give it up, take the easy route, go to sleep or whatever. And my spirit, my brain is telling me, nah, we came too far. So that's where I want to be at. That's why I'm in yearning for is because I got to lean on God, be like, okay, God, you brought me here, you got to take me out.
All right, so we're going to take a look at your Contender Series fight. And we'll just take a look at that and see what you think about that.
Gotcha. You want me to break it down for you?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do a breakdown.
So I'm coming out, man. I done got the sword. Oh, I appreciate you.
How much you weigh right here, brother?
I'm weighing at 34, 234. So I don't know if they can run it back, man. I come out, I feint him. I already knew he was gonna be scared. He was talking big. Me and Dieter work cutting the cage off really well. He goes left, he goes to go left, he goes left. I know he has to go right. I don't even work kicks like that. I throw a kick. I throw another kick. I get a little over. Those are my guys right there. So I used to work there.
You say you don't like hurting people. It looked like you were angry.
What were you saying to him?
I was telling him to get up. The more I've gotten into fighting, I understand, man, for me to get these big paychecks, to me be on the main card,
gotta be brutal.
He gotta be face down at the end of the day. He got either face down or face up. You can't quit on the stool. I can't see you curl up because people don't want to see that. They want to see me knock you out cold, and at the end of the day, you trying to do the same thing to me. So
you're right.
Well, Anthony, we do a segment called The Abyss.
Okay.
Where we get questions from the fans. And we have some questions for you from The Abyss.
Let's do it.
Let's get to that. All right. From @Jalen.
Yes.
I've heard enough.
Yes.
Versus Pajeda.
I've trained around Pieta. He was at Fusion in Orlando, and oddly enough, I went up there that day, and he makes me look small. That dude is big. His head and his hands are huge.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got a little bit of wrestling on, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna give game plan. But like, that's another dream fight that you think about getting into, because to be a legend, you got to fight legends, and there's not too many legends at heavyweight. I think Josh's in a great place. It's either that or the title. So I think he's in a win-win situation. I'm a little jealous of Josh.
Did you ever consider 205? Because if you weigh 230, some of these 205 pounders get up to 230, way heavier than 230. Did you ever consider 205?
I'm going to contradict myself because I talk about being in the moment and not looking too far ahead. But in the moment, I'm at heavyweight. But if we talk about the grand scheme, I want to be a legend. I'm not going to be in this to be mediocre. And to be a legend, you got to do 2-3 weight classes. So I'm going to do 205 if I end up being the person I'm supposed to be. But we got to be this guy right now. We got to be where our feet are. So I can make it easily, by the way. Easy.
From Anakin Sky MMA, Wint versus Spivak or Gaziev?
That's the Roman, Raymond, I don't know how to pronounce the name. Gaziev is the Russian.
Shamil Gaziev.
Both of those were tough matchups.
They just both fought.
Yeah, both of those were tough matchups just because they're big dudes and they have a big presence, especially Roman. And I knew that because he went against Blades for his first fight. And he did. I thought he won the fight.
Shamil Gaziev did.
I thought he won the fight, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And he just dominated. I forget his name, black dude, bald.
Kennedy and Zechiku.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Just Saturday night, right?
Yep, there you go. Yeah, so, I mean, I try not to look too far ahead, but I get excited thinking about guys where it's like, okay, how are we going to beat these dudes when they got size on us, they know how to fight, they got great footwork, and only God can give me the wisdom to do that, and I'm only going to get better.
Yeah, love that. All right, from the 4444444, ask Wint who he prefers, Aldo or Volk?
As far as like the GOAT?
We talked about that today.
Who would you rather watch?
Aldo, yeah. However you interpret that question. Aldo or Volk?
WC Aldo.
Okay, if they were to fight each other, I'm taking Volk. I think Volk has one of the greatest IQs in fighting, and as far as the GOAT as well. I think what makes you the GOAT is not just winning, but be able to lose the way he lost, and to be able to come back and win again against a hungry Diego Lopez twice. Like, that's hard to do. And I haven't been in that space yet, but I know. And obviously, you guys have lost before. How much losing takes out of you? The breath of air. Like I'm sitting here talking with confidence, but I got my I don't know what it feels like getting in the mouth or being cut or whatever. Yeah. And I know when I get to that point, another shell of me, I'm gonna have to become another man, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't let it define you. You gotta keep that same confidence and energy you have now.
Yes, sir.
Let it fuel you.
This is from Mr. P42. How tall is Wint?
If I'm being honest, 5'10" and a half.
5'10" and a half?
5'10", 11 sometimes.
We need
man.
Poirier in here to
Is he 5'10"?
you know, he's 5'8", but he's
he'll
calling people out on their height.
I stopped
He's the
lying, man.
height police.
In college, they bring the NFL over to do your measurements, whatever. I used to think I was 6 foot. I'm 5'10" and a half, but I think when you own that truth, you can walk into it, man. So
100%.
I'm not sitting here walking around saying I'm 6 foot or 5. I'm 5'11" some days, but I'm short. I'm small, but like I said, when that cage closed, they put that little pin in there, and whoever it is says you're ready, don't none of that matter.
Yeah.
I don't care if you, the guy, my coming out party was against Myles Banks. He was 6'7", 6'8", and I put him on his face.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that was the first time I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. And that's when I got my celebration when I cut their head off. That's from
I'm a heavyweight.
yes, sir. That's from David. David obviously went against Goliath. That's an easy one. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And just I'll give you guys a story. The wildest thing, a dude from my church hit me up and he was like, remember, David cut off Goliath's head with his own sword. I go back and watch our face-off, and my opponent, Myles Banks, had a tattoo of a sword on his side. I said, yeah, I'm knocking him out. I just don't know when. If you don't believe in God, man, that just can't be a coincidence.
Yeah.
It can't be a coincidence. So
That's awesome.
All right, this is from Alex on 5886. Ask him his favorite finish and fight of all time.
my favorite finish and fight. My favorite finish was the fight after that, Jamal Tatum, just being transparent. So I knocked out Myles Banks. So for you guys know, I say it a lot. Dieter told me stop saying it. I think fighting is stupid. I think there's so many other things you could do with your life that doesn't cause brain damage and, pain. And obviously, I would think we all would say we're a little bit underpaid.
Yeah, we should have been playing golf.
Yeah, playing golf, or maybe I'd make a couple mil playing football. If I would have made enough money, I would have retired in Homestead.
You could say football is stupid too.
It is.
For the same reasons. Yeah.
Exactly. I would have retired in Homestead. I would have had 4 or 5 kids at this point. I would have been chilling. And I'm unmarried right now. I ain't got no girl. I ain't got no prospects, But in that moment with Myles, I had this girl I was talking to. And then we ended up going our separate ways. So I'm sitting here mad at God. I'm like, yo, God, come on. We had everything set up. I done knocked out the dude like you told me to. So this fight with Jamal, I had a lot of animosity towards God. The man who made the things that we're supposed to be afraid of, the ocean, the bears, the tigers, the lambs. And God had to humble me and say, nah, be in your place and do what I tell you to do. And that sounds harsh, but that's how God loves on you. He's like, things are gonna work out, trust me. So going that fight with Jamal, I was like, man, I don't wanna do this. But I came to a place where nah, I'm gonna knock him out the same way I knocked out the last dude. So just be able to have something expected of you. Before Myles, people didn't expect me to knock out people. And now knock out Myles and I'm like, okay, can he do it again? And I did it again. And then you go to Matthew and I do it again. And obviously I dropped the ball a little bit with Terrence, but if I wanted to, I could went out there and did the same thing with Terrence Chapman. And I know I got power in these hands now. So that was my favorite fight because...
Did you know in the gym before your fights, did you already have power? Yeah. Significant power? Mm-hmm. Born with it?
Just felt like it.
Not born with it, but when I want to hurt somebody, I can hurt them. But that's the switch I had to get onto. Dieter would tell me all the time, even in the gym, he's like, yo, this dude's trying to hurt you. Don't. But I come from a place from football where if you're not the guy, don't go in there and hurt the guys. Like me training my second year, we had Le'Veon Bell and we had this dude and that dude. Football, it's an unwritten rule that you don't hurt the guys who make the money. You know what I'm saying? I was on the practice squad, it's like tackle them, but don't try to hurt them. Even to the sense of no shade with Sam. So my rookie year, I was with Sam Darnold. And we're on the practice squad. If you got a pick, don't go out there and catch it. You don't want to mess with his confidence. So the same thing in the gym. That's the mindset I went there with. If a guy's using me for a fight, don't go in there and beat him up too bad to where he doesn't think he can win the fight.
Yeah, that's a good partner.
But obviously in MMA, that's not what it is. If I'm in there, we're fighting, and you better protect yourself.
Yeah.
I guess it depends. Yeah.
We got one more here. So we got at Toph versus Gara. Ask him what NFL athletes he thinks would do good in the UFC.
I think Dana White already said, man, Myles Garrett would dominate with maybe a year and a half of training. All being an athlete. Obviously, Le'Veon Bell, he's retired, but I remember him boxing coming up, and we've seen him in these shows or whatever else, and really just all of them. I think that's where MMA is a little short-handed, that especially in the U.S., all the best athletes play baseball, soccer, football, and all these other sports. But athleticism, muscles, they don't win fights. And there's a lot of football players who would come in, but they don't really like to fight.
Yeah.
I don't really like to fight, but the thing is, I don't like to lose. So I'm like that dog you put in a cage that doesn't want to, all right, I'll eat when everybody's done. But you start to mess with me, I will rip your head off. That's the only thing. That's the only switch that makes me different than everybody else. I'm athletic. I can wrestle a little bit. I got a sharp mind on me, but I haven't even seen the most aggressive version of me because I try to cage it in because I don't know what that guy looks like.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, I got this Hulk in me that I don't want to come out, but one day he's gonna have to come out. And I don't even think, let me say this on air, I don't even think a referee can stop that guy. That's what's scary. That's what's scary, because then I'm going to jail.
We need a big ref.
Yeah.
Don't put Peterson in there.
Don't put Herb Dean in there.
Well, Anthony, we appreciate you joining
sir.
the show, man. Thanks for coming on. We look forward to your career, man. I know it's going to be a long and prosperous, successful career that you're going to have. I look forward to watching it.
Yes,
for
sir.
sure.
Yo, you're our first guest ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first
You
live
are
guest.
First
ever.
guest
That gotta be
ever.
Wow.
Yeah,
monumental.
that's how excited
In
we
person,
are about
yeah,
your
in
career,
person,
man.
yeah.
You know what I say all the time, man, favor ain't fair.
Yeah.
The favor of the Lord ain't fair, man. I'm happy to be here, man. I appreciate you guys, man. And for those of you watching, man, continue to walk with the Lord if you are. And if you're not, you better get with him. Stay sharp.
Absolutely.
Man.